So please put in the chat box, what is the session topic for today? Let me see who will get it. Okay, somebody says effective climate communication. Are you sure? Are you 100% sure? Who else? Okay, so Precious also says effective climate communication. Okay, okay. So you're correct. You're absolutely correct. So I want you to also let me know, what are you looking forward to? What are your expectations? What are you looking forward to learning? So please share in the chat box before our facilitator comes on. What are your expectations? What are you looking forward to learn from today's session? Our topic says effective climate communication. So you already have an idea of what we're going to be talking about. But I also want to hear from you. What are you looking forward to learning? Okay, Chukuma also says effective climate communication. Awesome. So please share your learning expectations. Okay, so Miriam says, I look forward to learning how to inspire people to take action. Awesome. That's really good. I think for me too is also looking at, what are the best techniques to effectively communicate climate action, climate change, so that your audience understands what you're trying to say, and all of that. Is there any other person that would like to share? Okay, so in the absence of none, once again, thank you so much for coming for the afternoon session. And we're going to be discussing effective climate communication. So for this session, just get ready because our facilitator, she's on board and she's on fire for us right now. And we're going to look at understanding the role of social media for climate digital activism, learning the techniques on how best to craft your message to ensure that your audience understands, and all the rudiments on climate advocacy campaigns as well. So her facilitator is available, she's on ground, and she's ready to give it to us back to back. So right now, I'll just be reading her bio. So our facilitator for today is Balkis Salahuddin Ibrahim. She is a social impact strategist, climate activist, co-founder, head human capital and corporate social responsibility of Green Republics Farms. Her leadership roles in transformative projects such as Base Planet Foundation, Pick That Trash, She Leads Climate Action, and Girl Up Nigeria have mobilized hundreds of young changemakers across Nigeria. Baliki's influence extends to her role as a fellow of the African Youth Leadership Fellowship Program. She holds an EMBA from the prestigious Accra Business School in Ghana, all the way in Ghana. Yeah, and she also serves as a youth member at the Federal Ministry of Environment, National Youth Climate Innovation in partnership with UNDP Nigeria. Her prowess in communications and digital media further amplifies her impact. She is also an SDGs champion who has championed many other people, her peers and team members, to take climate action across the world. She boasts of an impressive track record of over 6 years of active engagement and voluntary contributions within Nigeria's social impact and sustainable development sphere. So right now, I want us to show some excitement in the comment box. Just, show some excitement as our facilitator comes on, Ms. Balkis Salahuddin Ibrahim.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bolu Atife, for reading that so beautifully well. However, I'm not sure this class is ready for me. I'm not sure. Like, it's looking like probably the prior class they just finished they're still trying to get it synced in. So do you guys need a break, like to get the first class teachings into your system before we start, or do we just go right into it? So let me know, is it a yes, 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 yes? Okay, so I think we're gonna be starting this class now with the correction of the spelling of my name. So my name doesn't have a U, my first name doesn't have a U. I've gotten this millions of times, and I don't know why people keep adding U to my Balkis. So there is no U in my Balkis. You can never find U in my Balkis. So it's just BALIQEES. So welcome to my class. And I'm personally excited to be taking you on this course, should I say this topic rather, because it is very, very personal to me. So we're going to, somebody said I should share popcorn. Is it, when you take lectures in class, do they share popcorn or be your lecturer shares learning material? Which one? Because this one you guys want to blackmail me for popcorn. I don't know. So let me go and find my slide, share my slide, and we start this conversation right away. Okay, can you see my slide? Can you see my slide? All right, I'm sure you all can see my slide, right? Boluwatfe, can you confirm?
Yes, we can.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I know that we're going to have more people join. So on that note, I'm going to be starting because Boluwatfe and Okoyemi has given me a very strict timeline to work with, and I'm trying to be very, very, I'm trying to oblige by that. So this afternoon, this Saturday afternoon, where you're supposed to be at a wedding party or at a friend's hangout or at the cinema or at the beach, you have all decided to say, you know what, let me come and learn some things about climate communication. And I really sincerely appreciate that. So we're going to be looking at what makes climate communication effective. What is climate communication? How can we leverage social media to drive climate communication? And okay, so yeah, welcome to my session. I really invested time in preparing this slide for you. So we're going to start from the background of what Nigerian Youth SDGs saw in me to have said, you know what, Bakis, you're the one that we want for this particular topic. When I started my climate activism now over 7 years, one of the things I realized was at the beginning, it was a very lonely journey. I was working full time. At the same time, I was volunteering. And one of the key highlights of my journey in the climate space was how I was able to, my then company where I was working, I was able to mobilize like a sort of partnership between them and the organization I was volunteering with to celebrate World Environment Day. And it was really mega, it was really amazing, right? And how did this happen, right? My passion, what I do at my workplace, my boss believed in me. And I also have my social media, to be able to mobilize other people to join us for this cleanup. I'm someone that is very passionate about communication strategies, and I see it as, okay, if I have this communication strategy skill, how can I ensure that whatever I do in the climate space, I'm able to use my platform to share them? So you can easily go online. You don't need me to be awake before I tell you what I do, right? You can easily track how I started in this space to where I am now, right? I started from local community cleanups, community engagements, governments and other stakeholder engagement. Now I'm a farmer, but that doesn't mean that I'm not still in the climate space, because I still do my farming activity as in a very climate friendly manner, right? And if you track all of these things, they are all there online. I've been strategic about how I position my social media footprint. So I hope that I don't want to share so much about myself because this is not time for that. I hope that with this little story, you're able to understand that there's always a transition. There's always a reason for people doing things. All right, so we go Okay, so before we go into crafting your climate message, what is climate change? I decided not to add that into my slide because I want to believe that probably other facilitators would have taken you or would take you. So my first question here is, what is climate change? I'm not seeing you, so please feel free to unmute your mic and speak directly. What is climate change? Your name and just answer my question. What is climate change?
Okay, so just to cut in, if you'd like to speak, just make use of the hand symbol and unmute you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you can use that too, and I can just call you up. Okay, what is climate change? It will be good for us to have an inactive participant. And the reason why I'm asking these questions is because so that I know that I'm talking to people and not myself. So Yaya Yusuf, please unmute and speak. Yaya Yusuf, please unmute and speak.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. With climate changes, I think it has to do with a change in climatic condition for a very long period of time due to human, So just to put in a simple term like that.
All right, thank you so much, Yusuf. Anybody wants to give it a try? Anybody? Let's have somebody else. We have over 40 people on this call. So at least 40 of us should know what climate change is. Yes.
So Oluwafemi Makonjola in the chat box says climate change is all activities done by humans that cause a long change in the Earth's temperature and weather.
Okay, thank you so much for those responses. So in this class, in the chat box, I want you to agree or disagree. Does climate change exist? We have defined climate change as a change in weather pattern, climatic condition for short or long time. We've also said that it is human nature and behavior that causes climate change, right? Yes. So do you agree that climate change exists, or do you not agree that climate change exists? Because if we don't agree that climate change exists, then this class is not for you because there is nothing for you to craft. But if you agree that climate change exists, then we have to come together to think about how we can communicate climate change for everybody to understand that it exists and we need to take action. So you can just keep popping it up in the chat box while I move to my next slide. So my slide now is, how do we craft a climate message for either social media, print media, or even by telling people in your community, your parents. For example, now when I'm at home or when I'm around my family members, they know what they call me is even pick that trash at home, right? Like whenever they do anything, I'm like, oh, why would you do this when I'm here, right? So that's that sense of, oh, we know who Balkis is, we know she doesn't like this, so we can't do it either in a presence or in our absence. So why do we have to craft our message in this manner? So number one thing I have here is, who are your audience? So you need to know who your audience is. You cannot be talking to everybody. You know, crafting a climate message is like you're selling something. And if you're selling something, for example, you don't want to sell to everybody, right? I'm going to be using direct example. So I sell what my produce at the farm are habaneros, and they're very, very hot and spicy, right? So I know that habanero is very hot, and I know that probably some percentage of Nigerians do not like pepper in their food. Okay, I did something. Now we have bell pepper. Bell pepper is not spicy, but bell pepper has this aroma. It has this taste that everybody wants to see in their food. Again, not everybody likes bell pepper. So what have I done? I've given alternative. I also have tomatoes. So if you don't like habaneros, but you like tomatoes, I can give you tomatoes and a little bit of habanero just to make it a little spicy. And if you don't even want it at all, I can supply you a truck of tomatoes, right? That is because I understand that I am not selling to everybody. I'm selling to different people, different produce, because not everybody likes pepper. So same way as who are your audience when it comes to climate communications. You're not talking to everybody, right? You're not speaking to people and you're just like, oh, this is my audience, this is my audience. Everybody is the audience of climate change, but not everybody wants to listen to your message. So you have to start from one community to another. When I mean community in these terms, I'm not talking about villages, towns. I'm talking about community as small as 1 person, 2 persons in your house, in your neighborhood, in your office, around where you stay or where you work. So you need to understand who your audience are, and you have to be able to tailor your message to their values, their beliefs, and concerns. So there are a lot of people now, if we go on the street and we carry out a survey and say, what is climate change? People will tell you it is God that wants to take over the world, right? People will tell you that this is not a man-made problem, this is natural disaster. People will tell you that it's God that is doing his handwork, and we cannot, try to go in depth and analyze why God is doing it. That's what some people will tell you. Some people will tell you, that's just so many concerns and definitions of climate change and how people perceive it. So you need to understand your audience. You need to do your audience mapping before you know how to craft your messages. Another thing is, in your audience, where are your audience? Are your audience on Instagram? Are your audience on Twitter? Are your audience on Facebook? Are your audience on LinkedIn? Are your audience on TikTok, or they're on YouTube? Or do they listen to podcasts on Spotify? So these are ways that you need to map out your audience. Then it helps you to craft message. So audience comes first. You already know the problem. You already want to tell people about it, right? But you need to know these people you want to talk to about climate change. Then we have, what is your story? You don't talk to people about climate change and come as if you are a soldier and like, you have to take climate action. If you don't take it, we're all going to die. I mean, I'm sure we're going to probably get to that level with the negligence that people are really taking on climate change. But we can't get there. We can't achieve anything by being arrogant about climate action. We have to be empathetic about our approach to climate action. And when I mean empathetic, right, you have to be cool, calm, and collected. You have to sit down with people, help them reason. You go to the market and you just meet a market woman and you're like, Mommy, I want to buy this thing. I want to buy that thing. Mommy, I like this, your clothes. It's so nice. It looks like my mom's clothes. I saw her wear it. You're trying to get into her head. You're trying to patronize her. Right. Mommy, this is your gutter. Why is it blocked? Then she will start talking. She starts sharing why it is blocked. She starts telling you how they don't have dustbin, but they have to put their refuse inside the gutter, and there's no water flow and all. Then you start asking her, I hope we've not been affected by flood before in your shop. My son, have been affected by flood, this, that. Mommy, there's a solution to this problem. All you have to do is just build a community in your market space. Tell them why it is important for you people to dispose your waste. Tell them that you want to meet with the Commissioner for Environment to help you bring a roll bin to your market so that you can easily dump your waste. Collective action. By the time you're speaking with people in this manner, they see you as their children. They see you as their child. Same way when you go to schools, there's this strategy now that everybody is using, right? I've used this strategy for a very long time. Going to schools, talking to children about climate change and environmental impact and all of these things. And, they're telling them to tell their parents about it at home, right? So that their parents can be conscious about climate change and how they can take action. Those are strategies. But when we are in the school, we don't talk to these children like we are their mates. That like we are older than them. We talk to them like we are in the same level, we are age mates, right? Because you need to speak to their understanding. You need to let them feel that you're not here to command them or to control them. So you have to be empathetic in your approach to climate change, especially in helping people understand it. Not everybody understands it. So now, we understand that you have a story. We understand that you have been flooded. We understand that your community has been flooded. Your parents are about to move their house, their property, their this, that, as a result of climate change. This is your story. You have to tell it and you have to be empathetic about it. Then what is your power? What power do you have? You already have your story, which is like very good. But how do you tell your story? the how is even important than having it, because if you have it and you don't know the how, it is useless. So you have to ensure that your power of storytelling or of mapping out your audience is simple and is solution driven, right? Using clear languages and visuals. For example, now I took my time to create this slide for you so that when you're listening to my voice, or you're watching me on your screen, or you're looking at my slide, you feel comfortable. You feel, like, oh, you're seeing a lot of butterflies, flowers, nice background visuals. It's appealing to you. The same way you have to be able to convey your climate change messages. Because when we talk about climate change, it is very complex. It is not as sweet as we always talk about it. It is complex, especially, when you read up PhD proposals, you read up master's theses, you read up how people are trying to use their projects to solve climate change and how they have gone in depth in research. You understand that it's not. So you have to be able to convey these climate complex ideas of yours, in a very simple and solution driven method to empower your audience to say, yeah, we want to listen to Boluwatife, want to continue to listen to Yusuf, want to continue to pay attention to their content. So that's on crafting your climate message. If you have questions, try put them down in the chat, raise your hand, write them down. We're going to get questions and answer. Then we have using social media for climate digital activism. Most of the times, we don't know the power that we hold in our hand. Many of us are on social media, but we're not being strategic and we're not. So yeah, I'm going to be telling you how you can use your social media to drive engagement for climate activism. So number one, I said catalyst. You have to be a catalyst, and you have to see social media as a catalyst for change. It's not just about the connection we're trying to build. It's not just about the celebrities we want to try to follow. It's not just about that, but it's also about you seeing it as a catalyst for your climate activism, to amplify the voices you're trying to amplify, to build connection and to drive action. So you don't need to be in Lagos before people in Lagos understand or connect what you're doing, but they can easily do that through your social media. Now let's go to the platform. You have to be very strategic in choosing your platform. Each platform has its own strength, and you have to leverage it strategically, meaning that the way you're going to be using social media, the way you're going to be using Twitter is different from how you're going to be using LinkedIn. It's different from how you're going to be using TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Right. Now, YouTube has even made life even easier for you. You can even start your podcast on YouTube, right? But you can't podcast yet on Instagram. You can't, do certain things on, you can do Twitter Space or on X Space. You can do it on Twitter or X Space. You can do live sessions on LinkedIn. So there are different platforms with many benefits. All you need is to pick up the strengths in these platforms, them to your own advantage to mobilize for climate action. Then we look at authenticity. Many a times people feel like you're not authentic. You're probably buying followers. You're probably begging people to even like, or you have to be authentic, that people just naturally want to follow you. You have to be authentic. Your story has to be real. You can't cook up stories. You have to be real, right? This is not an Indian movie we're making here. This is real life content we're talking about here. So you have to be very, very big with yourself and say, okay, this is the kind of content I want. This is how I am doing it. Then people can continue to follow your content. And remember, that authenticity is not built overnight. You have to be a consistent poster, meaning that you have to know, okay, are you posting on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and on Saturdays, right? Because if you're not consistent about engaging your audience, they would just leave. They would not. There is an algorithm that the moment you're not active on these social media platforms, your notifications doesn't pop on your followers' social media because you're not as active as other people they're probably. So you have to be active. You have to meaningfully engage your audience. You don't want to ever keep your audience waiting. The moment you start, it's always very difficult to stop or pause. You know, some people will tell you a long time I posted on social media. It's very good to take a break from social media, especially when you feel like it's becoming toxic or mentally draining for you. It's okay, it's fine. But that authenticity is there and you have verifiable content. You're not talking about UNFCCC and then UNFCCC is doing something rather than what you're trying to portray on the platform, right? So your content should be very authentic, be a good listener, and prompt response. Then I added another thing here. You have to harness the power of storytelling. You need to be able to tell your story because if you don't tell your story right, other people will pick your story and then people will start following them. That's fact for you. So you can use the likes of visuals, videos, or your personal narrative, right, to inspire other people. You can just take a walk around your area and see something that is inspiring. You can just take a picture of it or get back to your house, sketch what is on your head down, take a picture of it, upload it on social media. You can decide to do a reels. You can decide to do so many things, right? But you have to be able to use social media, see it as a catalyst, as a platform for you to amplify voices, see it as a platform that has been built strategically for you. So you just have to pick things that are there to your own advantage. And remember that you cannot pick everything. You cannot pick everything. You have to be strategic. And then we have the authenticity part of it. Your engagement should be authentic. Your story should be authentic. Your story should inspire people in a way that they want to keep coming to your platform. So that means that your story has to be captivating. I want to come to your page and I want to be seeing visuals that are so appealing to me, just like my slide, right? Then on the next slide, I've created something called, sorry. Why is this thing asking me to use AI for presentation? All right, so I've created this, the impact of online campaign. So I thought I was already rounding up on my presentation and I thought that I need to help you understand why your online campaign can be very impactful and how. So according to Statista, there are 5.35 billion people using internet worldwide and nearly 8 billion people in the world. I mean, out of 5.35 billion people, are around 66% of the world's population, have access to internet. So that means that your audience, they are there. You don't need to be anywhere. You can be in your house. You can have your full-time job. You can be whoever you want to be and still be an evangelist of climate action in your comfort zone. I was just telling some fellows earlier that you don't need to have it all before you start taking action. With these statistics I've given you, I've helped you to understand that the audience, it's so massive. It can take a lot of us, but how do you appeal your content to people? Sometimes, let me use an example. We have a large number of content creators in Nigeria today. Even other African countries, they refer to these people a lot. But sometimes you see there's a bit of competition. You see some of them, they just blow overnight. And then you see some of them, they're still struggling. That's because the audience is there. They choose who they want. They choose how they want it. They choose if you're funny or if you're not funny. They choose if you're fun or you're not fun. So they are very strategic, right? So use your social media to create awareness. It is very impactful. Shift people's, perceptions about climate change and understanding into climate action. How they can start planting in their community, how they can start planting their food in their own house, how they can start mobilizing cleanups in their immediate community. You're not asking them to do something large, just small from where they are. Mobilize for support. Before you know it, people will start reaching out to you. You can start leveraging support from organizations to say, okay, we want to collaborate with you. We want you to be able to reach more audience, right? Drive action. You don't want to be creating content that are not action driven. You want to create content that say, okay, yes, let's go to the next. Okay, back is okay. What do you want us to do? You don't need people to even start asking you. Your content should tell the action that you want people to take. So remember this, raise awareness, mobilize for support, and use your online campaigns to drive action. Then I have here some examples of social media campaigns that you can use. So remember that people can easily look you up online, but they also want to look up trending hashtags that you have, right? So what are the hashtags that you want to use? So you want to create a campaign. So I created an example here. Join the movement. Let's build a sustainable future together. Start small. Recycle, reuse, reduce, every action count. You see, this particular messaging I've crafted, it has what I'm trying to say here. It also has what I want the audience to do. So what I'm asking you to do is, what I am doing, I'm trying to push people for a more sustainable future together. But how do we get there? I need you to start recycling. I need you to start reducing your climate change activities by using too many plastic and, throwing waste from the moving vehicle, reusing your plastic. A lot of people have plastics at home, but they went to the place, they buy food, they discard the plastic. But you can use this same plastic to stop pepper, things in your freezer. Reuse it. Don't try to be creating so many waste miners for people in your community, because every of your action counts. Now you've let people understand that their action is very important. Now let us look at the example here. The hashtag is green generation, hashtag for sustainable living, right? Now, what is the content? Inspiring stories of individuals in a different interactive challenges and user-generated content. So what I'm trying to do here is, I'm going to post this thing. This is my caption. The visual you're going to see is Bolu Atife mobilizing a community member to plant trees. I'm not saying Bolu Atife said she's going to plant it. I'm saying you're seeing her doing it. You're already seeing that action in progress. So it would inspire and ignite your own action to be wanting to say, I want to do this thing, right? What's your call to action? Join the Green Generation movement. Join Bolu Atife and our peers to plant more trees, right? So that people, this way, you're not just telling people why this thing is important. You're not just telling people the urgency of now. You're telling people why they need to do it, right? So it is always very, very important. So I think at this point, I want to take 1 or 2 questions before I move to my next slide. Thank you. If you have questions, please raise your hand and you can unmute. Do we not have any question? You can go on. Okay, I take it that there are no questions yet. But if you have questions, please note them down and I'll pick it up from there. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. I particularly put this here so that you can see it and not just hear it from my mouth. Social media is yours. Use it. There are 58 of us on this call, meaning that there are 58 of us that can take climate action, meaning that there are 58 of us that can create social media platform now and have 10 people follow us, meaning that there are 58 of us that can mobilize over 500 people to take climate action. Not by seeing each other, but at the comfort of our homes, we can take this action. Many of you would rather subscribe on your phone. And when you subscribe, what happens? You're watching video. This guy has posted. Come and see this video. You're not using it to your own advantage. You're using it to laugh on other people's content. Use it. It is everybody. It is not for some set of people to be. It is not a set of people to be popular or called celebrities. Even you can be our climate celebrity, right, on social media. So use it. You don't need ring lights. Forget that thing. Create your content when, during the day, when the sun is out. Stay by your window side and shoot your content with your phone. You don't need you don't need tripod. Put your phone on a plastic and shoot your content. You don't need, many of these content creators, you need to see when they started. You need to when they started creating their content. It was not all rosy. So I hope that that would inspire you to understand that social media is everybody. You can go now and create, you can go now and create Instagram handle for yourself. You can go now and create Instagram handle for the entire family. Nobody's going to restrict you, right? But just to understand the potential that you would in this social media world. The world is evolving. You have to grow. You have to adapt. You have to be strategic. Your content, if you are creating some kind of cliche content before, you need to understand that people are not interested in cliche. People are interested in your creativity. How creative are you about using social media to mobilize for climate action? Then let's go to the next slide. I have personal skills. So I thought that I cannot just teach you all these things. I know give you some tips on personal skills that you need to craft for climate communications. So now, my next question, what skills do you have already that you think will be an added advantage in this climate space? What skills do you have? Now, everybody, I want you to speak. Raise your hand and speak. I want minimum of 1 skill, maximum of 2 skills. Minimum of 1 skill, max. I know you guys might have like a lot of skill. And you can also put in the chat box so I can read them up. Put in the chat box, what skills do you have that you think can be of added advantage? Andrew, please unmute your mic.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for your well thought out lecture. I'm really, really, really into it. It's been enlightening so far. So I wanted to just speak on my skills. I am a researcher. So I am currently researching on the interrelationship of climate change and the use of international law in mitigating from climate change. So I do research, I write research papers. So that's my skill, but I don't know how to put it into action because I've written quite a lot of research papers, but I don't know how to publish them. I don't know how to get it out there. So you talking about the social media, it has been quite enlightening for me. And I would like to know what I can do, what processes I can take to make my voices be heard and those of others that collaborated with me in the research work. Thank you.
Brilliant. Andrew, you have a brilliant niche. And your niche is so important that without it, we don't have facts. Without it, there is no authenticity about climate change, because you don't just want to be sitting down and be telling people climate change exists without fact. What are the facts? Last year, we had flood in so many states in Nigeria. Your research would give us how many people were affected, how they were affected. Use your social media to create appealing visuals to tell your research story. I mean, you can, as little as creating animated characters to translate your research on social media. So people don't even need to read your research, but those animated characters, either as video or graphics, they are telling us there are 4 million people that were affected by flooding last year in Nigeria. Only 2% of them were able to get resources to stabilize or whatnot. Your research it's going to be like an explanatory content. Let me use it that way. Your research, you've already created it, you've already done it, you already have this amazing skill. Now put it into visuals, right? And tell us. But one thing, when you start using this strategy I'm telling you, you might feel like it's not working. You might feel like nobody is following you, nobody is seeing what you're doing. Content takes a while to click in people's head. You have to be in people's face. You have to continue to push your content. You have to use all the styles that you think is possible, but your branding should be consistent. What are you doing? You have research. You're only helping people to understand your research work. You have the link for people to go and read up about your research. And before you know it, international bodies who are interested in research would come out and reach out to you. Ministries of environment, ministry of any ministry that feel like they need your research to analyze something or to back their proposal or whatnot, they reach out to you because they have seen your platform as a platform where they can get fact data, fact statistics about things that are happening in the environmental space in Nigeria. Now, you might want to pick what social media do you think you have strength or do you think you want to leverage on and build strongly on? Is it LinkedIn? Serious people are on LinkedIn. Before you know it, people are going to be jumping in your DMs. People are going to have received so many messages from different international universities, inviting me for interviews with their students, inviting me for, one-on-one sessions because they've seen the work I'm doing. Now, not talk of you doing research. People are also doing research in other institutions, in other organizations, in other schools. They would want to see how you were able to carry out your research, how you're able to get this data. That's LinkedIn for you. Now, let's go to Instagram. You don't want to be creating text visuals on Instagram. Your visuals need to be appealing. Animated content, reels. It can be you talk about this research in a very charismatic way, those TikTok worthy. And before you know it, people will start understanding what you're saying. They start following you. They start looking forward to your content. We have TikTok. Oh, do you want to be tweeting about this thing? Oh, you did a research, you tag FAO. You did a research, you tag UNFCCC, UNEP, the UN themselves, Ministry of Environment, government. You're tagging people and they're seeing it. People are retweeting and liking it. People would even DM you when they don't see your post one day and say, Mr. Andrew Alpha, not seeing what research are you working on? And before you know it, you start getting funding to aid your research. That is how powerful social media can be. Can't we all see what Tunde Onakoya is doing, right? Tunde Onakoya started on his own. He's using social media now to mobilize, right? Now, personally for me, I don't need to know Joshua before a Nigerian Youth SDG would reach out to me to come and take sessions for them, right? Because my work is there. I'm using my social media to mobilize. I'm using my social media to tell people what I am doing. This is what I am doing. Oh, this is what I'm selling. Oh, people would come, but you have to tell that story. If you don't tell your story, nobody's going to tell it for you. And you have that platform to be able to tell your story. Now let's have testimony. Andrew, I hope I've been able to give you some nice tips to start working on. And please, I want to see this go into action. I want you to be part of the action that I want to see from this session. And feel free to reach out, get my contacts if you need further help. Okay, so let's go to I see there's testimony. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
I
testimony.
hope you can hear me. Thank you very, very much.
Hello.
So far, I love
Sorry, testimony. Who's
content.
speaking?
Me.
Okay, go ahead, testimony.
Andrew, sorry, it's
Yeah.
Andrew.
So my
Okay,
skills,
Andrew, sorry,
a
testimony. I
really
think
storyteller.
there's a
sorry.
bit of
Yeah, I was muted
Okay.
before. I'm really sorry, testimony. I reached out to you prior
Hello?
to the can you hear me?
yes, Andrew, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, prior to the commencement of the lecture, I
Okay,
did
can
reach out
anyone hear me?
to you.
Testimony, just give a second. I think Andrew is trying to say something.
Sorry, I'm really sorry for cutting in. Prior
Okay,
to the lecture, yesterday I reached out to you on LinkedIn, and I'm expecting a follow back from you if the time permits, and I can reach out to you to discuss other things, other concerns I have concerning my research. Thank you
all right,
very much. I
no
appreciate
problem. No problem. Thank you, Andrew. All right, testimony. Let's have you.
Okay, hello.
Hi, testimony.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So I was saying that thank you so far. I love your content. It's very visually appealing. And as for my skills, I'm a storyteller and a filmmaker. Yeah, I write, I do spoken word, just everything artistic.
Okay, brilliant. Now we have a storyteller here and we have a filmmaker. Now I'm smelling documentary. I love documentary a lot, right? I'm smelling short films. How can we start telling stories of climate change through short films? There are not so many of them that exist. Now we can collaborate with testimony skill to be able to bring this to life. Now we have created our short stories, our short films. How do we sell it out there? Our social media platform. People love this kind of content. How do we create short films that people would be so excited, happy to watch? But what we're trying to tell them, what we're selling here is climate action. What we are teaching here is climate change. What action are we driving? Climate action through the movie, right? So I'm already seeing research. I'm already seeing somebody has done a research. Now, testimony is trying to create a film out of this research. Now, who can I use as a social media strategist now? Okay, I'm seeing somebody here. She said she's a social media manager. Yeah, so now we have Olumide Kemi as the social media strategist. We have created our film, we want to put it on social media for people to create. And if she's even an animator, these skills already exist amongst you. It is to leverage it and use them. And remember, we can't do this life alone. Collaboration is key. You don't have all of these skills. I see many of you listing out your skills. Somebody saying he or she is a graphic designer, content creator, public speaker, writing, directing, animator. It's so cool to see that these things already exist. It's just to foster collaboration. You can start sending yourself DMs after your boot camp and say, I want us to work on something together. Where are you located? Location shouldn't be your barrier. We can still work things out, right? So I've listed out here some personal skills that you need for crafting your climate communication. And number one, I have graphic design. So for graphic design, you can use different platforms to create your designs. And I use Canva a lot. And when it comes to like graphic designs that I feel like I don't have so much time for, I have over 10 graphic designers as friends. And I have built my collaboration with them and friendship with them in a way that they're just a phone call away for me, right? So there's some of these graphic design platform that I probably don't know how to use, but I'm able to leverage on my friends and colleagues' skills to create more visual appealing. But this particular presentation was on Canva, and also there are also some certain limitations that you might encounter in some of these platforms by saying, oh, it's premium. If it's not premium, you can't have access to certain things, right? That is right, actually. But their premium are not always so expensive, right? You can definitely find a way around it if you really, really need the premium. Then we have copywriting. I saw on the chat somebody said he's a copywriter. Photography, I love photography a lot. Like, I have a camera, I have a photographer and a videographer for Green Republic Farms. That's to let you know how much I love it, right? Because that is how I can tell my story. You don't necessarily have to come to my farm to see what I am doing, but through the photography and videos we're creating, you're able to see them. Content creators, who is going to help you put your research into content worthy, right? For simplifying them for people. Then we have video creators and editor. We already have so many people on Discord that these things. So these are just few skills, but they might look small, but like, it's not a lot of skills. But you just have one of it and you're made, trust me, because they're all very, very important. Now let's go to yeah, so what page do you follow? Now I'm trying to, as much as possible, I'll get everybody to speak on this call. We're almost coming to an end of my slide, but let's see. So what page do you guys follow? So we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, Pinterest. We have so many of them. So raise your hand, tell me what page you follow, and tell me one person that you follow their content so well and why. So we're going in. You can also use the chat box to respond to this. So we're going again. Raise your hand to answer my question. Raise your hand. Time is here to answer what page you follow on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Tell me. All right, guys. I just sang for you people. So what page do you follow? What page are you following? Who are you following? Why are you following them? Let's go, let's go, let's go, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Nobody wants to speak? Raise your hand. Nobody is raising. Are you guys not following anybody on social media? What's going on? Okay, I see Andrew again, but I really want somebody else. We have over 50 people on this call. I see Zachary, Kelechuku, Hajing, John, I see Precious, Innocent, Alex, Musa. You're probably far away from your phone and you're muted. I see Rosemary. You guys should raise your hand and speak. So let's have Andrew. All right, so I see Friday. So I see, okay, yes, you can type, please. So I see Boluwatife said she follows one of her pages, Instagram, and she follows Nigerian Youth SDGs for their content on SDGs and young people. Brilliant. I see testimony. She said, I follow Koti on YouTube because she's an amazing filmmaker, making crazy good content that is just great, amazing. Then I see Yaya. She said, he said he's following iDev Africa on LinkedIn. And I see Ajink. He said I use mostly IG. Musa said, I follow SDSN on LinkedIn for opportunities and mentorship sessions. Okay, yeah, these are really brilliant examples, right? And that's to let you know that these people exist. Somebody said, I follow a lot of NGOs on social media who advocate on gender-based violence. Somebody said, I follow Susty Vibes on Instagram because they are into environmental sustainability and youth community capacity building. This is brilliant. So this is what I'm saying. Andrew, your hand is still up. Please unmute and speak.
Oh, okay, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can
so
hear
I
you.
follow most of the other ones that have been said on the group chat, on the comment section. I follow them, the UNSDGs, the Lagos SDGs, and some sustainable professional network. So I follow them. I follow you. I follow the former PM, Mr. Aweola, yes, Paul. I follow him as well for the content of sustainability, environmental law, because I did international law, environmental law, sustainable development practices, and climate mitigation. So I follow them all. And I hope I'm able to learn and grow in time because I just finished a boot camp on sustainable development advocacy with the UN Sustainable Development, and now I'm going with this one on the climate change voices activists. So I hope I can gain more knowledge on sustainable development and climate change and other interrelated SDGs that are of essence to the global citizens at large. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much, Andrew, for sharing that. I mean, look at how Andrew has strategically followed people, has strategically benefited from them and their content. So the reason why I wanted to know what page you're following, because, you know, there's a saying that, oh, sorry, guys. Yeah. There's a saying that who you follow probably sometimes determine how you behave. You see some people, they'll tell you that because they are following somebody and the person takes tea every morning, that's why they also like to take tea every morning. You know, sometimes the people you follow influence who you are becoming, who you will become if you want that. And I want you guys to see yourself as that agent of change that people follow, and you are like a key influence in their life. Now let's go straight. We're almost done. Now I have like task for you people. And task number one is create a social media content. So now you have already attended this class. You have already learned few things from me and my slides, my examples. Now I want you to create a social media content across Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook on your experience from this session on effective climate communication. I want you to tag me and tag the Nigerian Youth SDGs. I'm expecting over 50 posts across Twitter. At least I want to see over 50 tweets on Twitter mentioning me. I want to see over 50 posts on LinkedIn mentioning me. I want to see over 50 posts on Facebook. I'm no longer active there. It's okay if you're there. You can tag me if you see me. Then tag Nigerian Youth SDGs. So we have, how many minutes more do we have on my class, Boluwatife?
Okay, we have about 15 minutes, but
All right,
at
brilliant.
15
That's
minutes.
a lot of time. Thank you. That's a lot of time. So for the first task, we're going to take 4 minutes to do it. We're done. We're really, really done. So I want you to drop in my social media and do, so we're going to start with Twitter. So on Twitter, create, that slide is still going to be on the screen. So create a social media content about this class and tag me. Let's use Twitter for now and tag Nigerian Youth SDG. Boluwatife just dropped their handle. For Instagram, you can use Instagram story. Somebody is asking if I'm going to be sharing my slides. So somebody is saying they're active on LinkedIn. That's okay. We can also use LinkedIn. I'm dropping my LinkedIn and for Nigerian Youth SDGs, it is also Nigerian Youth SDGs. So so I want to see your post, and I want to be sure that you people understand what I've been teaching you for over 1 hour now. So somebody said, is there a survey form that you're supposed to share, Boluwatife? Okay, all right. Boluwatife said it will be posted, so don't worry, your survey form will be posted. Somebody is saying on Facebook, is also Balkis Salaudin. So I've not seen any notification on either Twitter, Instagram. For Instagram, use Instagram story. For LinkedIn, use direct LinkedIn post. For Twitter, use tweet, please. So we're waiting for you. Boluwatife, let me know if you've gotten any notification from your end, because we have to be sure that people have learned something from this class. And please also use that as a form of attendance aside your pay. We're going to use this to track the people that are active in this class. So if you like, don't post. If you like, be in your kitchen and be cooking and put your phone in the living room and stay in this class. We know how these things work. On Facebook, it is Nigerian Youth SDGs. All right, so let's go. I look forward to your content. You're going to be creating another content, but this one is not social media. This one is for Nigerian Youth SDGs, their communications team. So this one, let's do it. I've not seen one notification on either Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter. My notification is as dry as I assume nobody's in this class. So we have 1 minute more. 1 minute more. The instruction is on your screen, Precious. The instruction, yes, you have to do it now. I'm rating. It's part of your attendance for this class. You have to do it now. The instruction is create a social media content on your most active social media platform on the effective climate communication, which is my class. So feel free to do whatever, however you want to do it. I want to be sure that you've learned something from this class. 1 minute more, 10:04, we move to the next slide. All right, it's already 1:04, pardon, 1:04. So we move to the next one. Develop a communication strategy for the launch of the climate change bootcamp. So Nigerian Youth SDG have decided to launch or create the climate change bootcamp. However, they are struggling with the communications strategy for this particular project. They don't know how to go about it, what strategy to use, what platform to use. Are they going to be doing press releases? What kind of graphic designs are they going to be creating? Who do they need on the team to make these things easy and make the launch an epic one? So develop a communication strategy for the launch of the climate change bootcamp. This is an after-class assessment. So I want you to probably take a screenshot of my screen, share with yourself and do this assignment and send it to your coordinators. You can send it to Okoyemi or Boluwatife. So develop a communication strategy for the Nigerian Youth SDG for the launch of their climate change bootcamp. All right, brilliant. A lot of people are saying I should give them time to create the social media post. Yes, do it. Create, no, take your time, make sure you tag us. Make sure you tag us and tag, yeah, make sure you tag us. Make sure you tag me. If I don't see it, I would assume you were not in my class. So make sure you tag me on your post. If you don't tag me, I would assume that I don't know you in this class. So yes, so the next assignment, this one is an assignment. You can turn it in maybe by next week. I would give Boluwatife the liberty to give you the timeline, but I want to see your communication strategy for the launch of this bootcamp. Now, I think that is all from me. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Questions? This is time for questions. Let me know. Do you have any question for me?
If you have a question, please feel free to make use of the hand symbol and we will unmute you. You can also decide to put your question in the chat box. You can even ask questions about the assignments now. Don't be shy, don't be shy.
Okay, I guess there are no questions. Okay, Andrew, okay, I see Bulus. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you for this wonderful session. I really enjoy it. My question goes like this. My question goes like this. I just want to know if you are able to convince people on, like you said during your session that you used to go to school to speak to students, to teachers, and in your local communities. I just want to know, what if you are able to convince them on converting waste into useful products, and you don't have the right machineries that's to convert this waste into these are useful materials or products that we are talking about. Is there any way you can like manage the waste?
Yes, so that's a very, very important question that you have asked. You can teach people how to manage waste. And because you don't have machineries to probably convert some of your waste into, let's say, briquettes, for example, you can decide to say you want to convert plastic waste into seedling raising, into flower pots, into sitting arena in their schools. You can decide to say waste tires, you want to decide to convert them into nice gardening for them. So those things, right, that they see and they can easily, you don't need any infrastructure for all those type of things. And those things help to boost children's creativity. And you'll be so curious to see that they go back home and they're asking their parents, Mommy, I need tire in school. Mommy, I need plastic in school. I want to do this. Or they can even start replicating it in their house. So there's certain things when you feel like your solution, you need a large sum of resources to bring it to reality. You can look inward to say, okay, what alternative can I explore right now while I try to mobilize resources? So you can look inward and create those creativities, turning plastic into certain things for the children, tires into their playground or something. So you can look at that. Then you can now look at what organization already exists that is probably doing what you do and how you can collaborate with them and leverage on their partnership to bring your own your own project idea into reality. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, Bulus. Okay, let's go to Ismail. Ismail, I can't
Hello?
hear you. Can you speak? Yes, you
Can
can
you
go
hear
ahead.
me now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. You can shed more light on the assignment you just give us now, please.
So, Nigerian Youth SDG, they have decided to launch the climate change bootcamp, but their communications team are struggling to understand how to effectively launch this thing. So now it is now your responsibility as a consultant to help them develop a communication strategy to communicate the launch of the program and make it appealing for people to want to be part of the bootcamp. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
All right, thank you. So let's go. Let's have Omotoyosi. I think you're trying to speak.
So there's actually a question on the chat box from
Omotoyosi, can you speak? I can't hear you. You're muted if you're trying to speak to us. Andrew, I saw your hand was up. Yeah, please unmute and speak.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for answering me. I wanted to just confirm concerning the assignment. So you said to work on their communication strategy. So can we volunteer to or intend either to work with the climate change bootcamp to accelerate its impact? Is there a way we can offer, we as the participants of the program, can we offer our services to?
Okay, so this problem does not exist.
Okay.
It does not exist. It is an assignment that has been given to you in assumption that the Nigerian Youth SDG is struggling with their communications team. And you all have been consulted as a consultant to say what? Develop a communication strategy for us to be able to launch this bootcamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. All right, I think that will be all. So just for my last wrap up, I want you to put in the chat your thought about my session. I'm going to be stop sharing. I'll stop sharing my screen. So put in the chat box your thought about my session. I can't find myself on this screen. Okay, let's have it. Let's have it. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on my session to be sure that Nigerian Youth SDG have done well to bring me on board for you people. So let's do that in 1 minute. Then we'll pass the mic over to Bolu Atife on next steps. So 1 minute, in 1 minute, in one word, in whatever, I want to know what you think about this session. And please note that I shared my social media handle already. I mean, I'll be happy to also share further again on the chat if you want to reach out to me. And if there's any questions that you may have, you can also, speak with Bolu Atife. I can see somebody's hand is up. Bolu Atife, sorry, let's just take this one. Charity Ibrahim, please unmute and speak.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Charity.
Okay, thank you very much for the session. It was very informative and I joined quite late, but what I met when I came in was when you were talking about that's the films that you can do a climate series. This is something that has been on my mind to do. Like, in fact, it is a full-blown movie talking about all the activities of climate change, especially as it relates to the crisis in different communities in Nigeria. But at some point, when I write a proposal to some agency, they made it look like this is not something that is important. But when you mentioned it this afternoon, like, I was very happy, like, oh, so what I've been thinking is something that is doable. So it's something that is very important. And I really appreciate that, because it has even made me to start noting down some things on how to go about it, especially my colleague that said she's into filmmaking and all of that. So for that, I'm really grateful. It's quite informative. At least it has helped me to understand that what I have in mind to do is achievable and it's also useful for communicating climate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Charity, for pointing that out. Yes, it is very, very achievable. A lot. I mean, I'm a fan of filmmaking. I love documentaries, short films. So I think that this is something that you can really leverage the community that you have right now to say, okay, let us come together and do this thing, right? And it's really achievable. It's something that I can do. So feel free to reach out to your colleague who have set this thing, and you can work something out, certainly. And I'm also, happy to provide my expertise when need be. And thank you so much, Charity. Just for also correction again, my name is written clearly on the screen. I wouldn't like it when people murder my name. It is Baliqwees. It's also very important that I learn to spell people's name. Sometimes some people get angry. So yes, thank you so much, everyone, for being super active, for being amazing participants, right? And thank you so much, Bolu Atife, for this very, very good opportunity. I hope that I have passed my test that you have given me today for your participant. So over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Balikis. Thank you so much. Just before you drop off, I would like to confirm if you can share your presentation slides with the participants. Okay, I think you're muted.
Hi, Bolu Atife, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I said that I'm happy to share my slide with the participant only when they have done their assignment.
All right. This is well noted. So we've heard from our facilitator, make sure you do the assignments, and once this has been sent to us, then we'll be able to send you the presentation slides. Thank you so much once again. Please, let's put in the chat box our exciting emojis. The class has been awesome. I think for me, I also learned a lot of things, map out your audience. You already know what you want to say, you already know the content. So map out your audience, that on Instagram, that on Twitter, make sure your content is presentable. Because if it's not presentable, people will not want to look at it, they will not want to read it. So make sure it's presentable. Collaborate with other people. Our facilitator mentioned that she has a network of graphic designers as friends. So there might be some skills that are not so good at. Meet up with your friend, collaborate with other people, share what you know, make up content that would change the perception of people from not knowing anything about climate change to now taking action. And also, please make sure to do your assignment. We've already posted the post-learning survey link in the chat box. And don't forget to share your learnings on social media, tagging our facilitator and NGYouthSDGs as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on the session today. It's been amazing. It's been exciting. It's been insightful. And yeah, so it's over for my end, and I wish you all a very, very lovely afternoon. Thank you once again.